What is going on, everyone? Commodore Laz here, bringing to you guys what is hopefully going to be the first of many videos covering Akasaka's masterpiece, Kaguya-sama, Love is War. Now, I was hoping to do a video in regards to 226 in terms of reaction, but unfortunately, because I'm still very new to the weekly experience, I'm not sure when chapters were coming out, the exact time and dates and all that. I was told maybe a couple hours ago from the time I'm recording this that the chapter came out. So I said, you know what, it is late, it's gonna be tough for me to do a reaction without getting evicted. So I said, you know what, let me just read the chapter itself in preparation, for this weekly experience, right? So I kind of have a mental note how long it's gonna take, absorbing all the information that's coming in. Sometimes these chapters could be like a Gintama or a Conan chapter in terms of the amount of words you're going through reading, all those little things you're trying to understand because of the little references and jokes and stuff. My God, I was not expecting this kind of chapter. And let me just tell you this. If you were to see what my face looked like in the last 2 pages, the last 3 pages, I should say. Oh my God, yo. Akasaka took a break and said, we move again. Do you understand how wild this person is? Took a 2-3 week break, whatever it was. And I'm like, okay, we'll ease things back in. We'll be good. Nah. Nah, we're not getting any of that, man. But let's get this out the way, okay? This new arc apparently is called the Kaguya-sama Impossible Challenge, the Buddha Stone Bowl. We've had times before in the series where there's been arcs that you assume is going to be about this character and then it ends up being somebody else after. And that's kind of what's happening right now at the moment. We're seeing Kaguya and Miyuki having their little dates and stuff. The little octopus squid sausage thing is brought back into the mix and stuff, which was a nice little reference to, the early times in the series. And just now them together as a couple and everything, having their meal and stuff, watching on and everything. And, after the events of 219, 220, you don't know what's going to happen on that rooftop after. But we know Iino's been going through her own things. We know that she has the crush and everything that's on Ishigami. Ishigami, of course, coming off the destruction of 203, 204 with Tsubame and the heartbreak. And at this moment, we know that with Iino having these feelings that have been built up for such a long time, now that Tsubame's out the way, it's her time to shine. I want to stress this because I've said this before in the 1 hour rambling video with Kaguya-sama when I caught up to the series. As much as I liked the relationship between Tsubame and Ishigami and hoped that it would work out, even though the chances of it happening were very tough to see coming to fruition, I would have no issues with Iino and Ishigami. But the way for that to work, to have some kind of normal progression, to see them two together instead of just being like a shotgun relationship coming off the rebound of Ishigami having his heart broken, I was not down for it. Okay? Because look, we've seen before that Iino and Ishigami have a really good connection with one another. And, Iino, of course, has been looked out for by Ishigami, vice versa for him as well. And the chemistry between them, again, they hate each other and stuff, quote unquote, but then, of course, it can lead to love. But Ishigami cares for her because he doesn't like seeing people going after Iino the way that she has been, abiding by the rules, the justice that she upholds and stuff because of, the life that she lives. Because of the admiration for that, Iino, of course, has those feelings that eventually turn into a like, into a love afterwards towards Ishigami. Again, as we know with Osaragi coming off the winter break, it's a one-way street. It's tough for me to see, Iino have her heart broken if something were to really, really bad happen. And especially because I really don't know now what kind of mindset Ishigami's going through because, again, the chapter after the whole, graduation ceremony and stuff, my guy was pretty much out of it, and he still looks like he's out of it. I don't think he's going to recover immediately. They made an emphasis to talk about the whole recovery time because, after a breakup, after a heartbreak, you want to give somebody the time that they need to kind of just figure out their emotions, figure out where they want to go afterwards. Do they want to jump in a relationship a week, a month, a year from now, possibly? We don't know. Iino has an idea of how long it's going to take for Ishigami and stuff, but 2 years is going to be too long. And Chika, of course, walking into the whole situation and saying, Iino wants to make a handmade bento and all that stuff, and she realizes, oh, you want to do it for Ishigami because you like him, da-da-da. You get that whole thing afterwards where Chika is trying to help her out, and even though some of those things, because of what's going on, may be tough to accept, she is kind of spitting some facts about the game of love. I'm not gonna lie. Iino, the way she was talking about, maybe I gotta wait my time and all that. The whole game of love, you can't be doing that. And Chika was just being straight up honest with it because, yeah, someone's gonna go through heartbreak, all this stuff, but again, they're eventually gonna get up and keep on moving with their lives. Somebody else is gonna be waiting there afterwards to have that opportunity to get with, Ishigami if he decides he's gonna go back into trying to go with another girl. Waits, and you're gonna lose that chance. This whole time, Chika's trying to do everything she can to convince Iino that if you want to be seen as a potential partner in the eyes of Ishigami, cast the other girls aside, put your focus onto him, make sure that his eyes are directly on you, so that when the time comes when his heart is ready to go back into motion, you're the first person that's there. And I have to stress this out because, again, with her character, with Iino, this is a girl who has a father that is a judge in the Supreme Court, a mother who works with the humanitarian immigration group thing that's there and stuff, but basically people that go about justice, go about the law, go about the rules. And as we know, when it comes to Iino's character, she is somebody who abides by the rules. And in the game of love, there is no such thing as rules. And I was just so nervous with those last 3 pages, because leading up to that, you start to see that Iino is like really processing all this stuff. And in her mind, she comes to the conclusion after Chika, which completely shifts the whole mood. So I can drop the good girl act then, if there are no rules in the game of love. So when I seen that the light in her eyes, or the dimness in her eyes, and I'm thinking to what Osaragi said during the whole situation back at the end of winter break about the one-way street, that Iino is feeling a way that she has to be so careful of. And then you have that moment at the end of this chapter where I'm just like, oh my god. Because she's never experienced the real world. She has followed the rules, obeyed the law. But in the game of love, this is her first love. She has no idea about love itself, but adores the concept of love. Even though she's never been in a relationship, she adores the concept of love. Now you give somebody who has followed the rules, followed the law, followed her own sense of justice, is walking into a world where she doesn't have to worry about following the rules. And then you tell me she's in her element. Like, they're talking about the whole thing about going back to the student council room later and stuff, And she goes with the tug. Like, nah, man. When I saw, like, the way they're paddling, look, when I saw Osaragi just looking there, right? You just see, like, in between the whole thing as they're talking, she's right there. I know, I don't need... Look, I see the sirens in her head. She knows that what's about to happen right now could be bad. Could be very, very, very bad. And then you're seeing all the students watching around and stuff as she goes and tugs onto Ishigami's shirt saying, let's go together. Bruh. Like, I was not expecting for things to move that fast, but I have hope that if this is going to lead to a relationship between the two, this is really the early beginnings. Like, the curtain rises, but this is us getting into Act 1 of Ishigami Iino, of them being together, but the natural progression, like how it gets there and stuff. Because if you have her get her heart broken now, man, it's gonna be painful. And I don't know if I can see Iino have her heart broken coming off, 20-some chapters ago, of me just in a pool of my own tears, with Ishigami getting rejected by Tsubame after pouring his heart and soul. Am I ready to see Ishigami do what Tsubame did to him? Do that to Iino? The rejected becoming the rejecter? I don't know if I'm ready for that. But at the same time, I don't want them to jump into that relationship right off the bat. Because again, writing-wise, I think it's better just to have it be naturally taken care of, in a sense that when they do become a couple, time has passed enough where they got to know one another, to understand that the feelings is mutual between the two of them. It's not a one-way street. It's literally my hope that this is the direction we're going into. That whatever Iino tries to do, we have some comedy bits here and there and stuff maybe, but I don't know. Because it's like, when you have those last 3 pages go full serious mode, it's like Akasaka can go straight serious. Just like they did with the whole stuff with Ice Kaguya, the whole stuff that happened with Hayasaka afterwards, and with Unio coming into the mix. Like, those things, if they start to happen, and now in this case, I don't know. Like, Iino could go full serious here, and then we have to deal with whatever repercussions that come. Man, I really wish you could have saw my face in those last 3 pages, because my jaw literally hit the floor, and I just felt the last of my brain cells that had been destroyed during the read during the catch-up and stuff just completely start to just implode one by one, whatever was left. And just my heart just shaking in fear, because it's like, I'm not trying to see Iino get hurt. She's honestly slowly become one of my favorites in this story. You know, just because, again, the way the nature of her character and stuff, things that she abides by and everything, like, that make her so great. Like, and of course, just being the crutch there for Ishigami and stuff, man. Just being one of those people that actually understands him too. There's so much I like about her, man. Funny as hell and everything, but it's like such a great character that I just cannot, I don't want to see get hurt. I really don't want to see it, man. But whatever happens in 227, which will be the first of hopefully many chapters of me covering the series, the reactions or stuff like this, or the rambling, because honestly, I just can't contain this anymore, man. Like, I've been wanting to catch up with the series now that I'm caught up and as invested as I am right now, and I want to discuss it. It's going to be in these formats or in the reactions. It'll probably be as long as whatever, depending on how much I'm taking into what's going on and stuff. But I'm really excited. I'm really worried at the same time, because there's so much greatness that could happen from this and so much pain. Because this could be the beginning of seeing the relationship between Ishigami and Iino maybe come into fruition. Maybe Ishigami starts to see that avenue that maybe Iino might be the one, even though right now at the moment he may not have those feelings. He cares for her, but not in a sense of caring for her as a lover. That could change. We don't know. But I'm very curious to see what Akasaka is going to do next week, and hopefully it will be the first of many chapters I'll be covering this series in the future. I thought this was a very great chapter, possibly close to amazing, the way things were handled. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments about that, of course, and if anything I missed in here by any chance, because again, the main focus really was those last 3 pages and just the whole setup and stuff of the Game of Love and everything. But if there's anything else you want to discuss about the chapter you felt was interesting, that is worth talking about down in the comments, let me know down there as well. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here. If you want to be part of the weekly experience when it comes to my coverage of Kaguya-sama week in, week out, subscribe if you haven't already. Click on the bell, Shandora said the day with everything that goes on the channel. And with that being said, I will catch you guys next week for what should be the true beginning of my coverage of Kaguya-sama Love is War. Commodore last signing off. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care. Going crazy, yeah, we going crazy. I'm with the team, yeah, yeah.